The 21mm perspective, my favorite wide angle look. Wide enough to feel wide, but not too wide that it looks contrived. To me, a great balance between width, depth, distortion, and transparency. In the last video, we went over the Voigtlander R4m, an amazing rangefinder that allows you to use wide-angle lenses on an amp mount camera, and we did a comprehensive comparison between that camera and a Leica. Well, today we're going to be going over the specific lens that I used in that video, and that's the Voigtlander 21mm f1.8 Ultron. We're going to go over all the technical stuff, but also what this lens does well, what it doesn't do so well, and why it has a special place in my heart. So let's jump right in. All the pictures that you're about to see were developed with Ilfotec HC at 20 degrees Celsius on a rotary processor. Hey, Jeremy here, and today I'm going to chat with you a bit about the Voigtlander 21mm f1.8 Ultron. Now, this is a pretty inexpensive lens, going for around $800 brand new. But unlike the R4m, which also retailed at around the same price, the Bessa had slightly plasticky, less premium feeling components, while this lens feels great. It's close to Leica, not quite the same, but very close. The focusing ring turns really smoothly, and the aperture ring clicks very nicely into place as well, so build quality wise, I don't think it will let you down. Weighing in at about 400 grams, it's not too heavy. The 21mm f3.5 is around 200 grams, while the 21 f1.4 is 600, so it sits kind of right in the middle. It's reasonably sharp, but I mainly use it on lo-fi black and white film, so I won't comment on its resolution, and it doesn't have any major optical imperfections. The only one weakness that I wish it did better was the way it handles contrast. It doesn't quite roll off tones in a way that is as refined as compared to a Leica lens, and the extreme ranges of the highlight and especially the shadow areas fall off quite quickly to black. So compared to a more balanced lens like the 28mm Summilux that I reviewed in an earlier video, this lens falls off in a more steep way to black, which isn't ideal to me. So it's quite a contrasty lens in a way that is quite consistent to the Voigtlander look. For example, the 35 f1.4 Nocton that also has a slightly steeper bump in the shadows compared to a Leica lens. But for its price, I'd say you're definitely getting your money's worth. Something that I really do like about it is its usability in low light. At its widest aperture setting, at f1.8 with ISO 800 film, you'll actually be able to get away with 1/30th or 1/15th of a second, which is quite a dark scene. But being an ultra-wide lens, you don't really need as fast a shutter speed as compared to 28 or 35. With good slow shutter speed technique, you could also get away with 1/8 of a second, so its usability in low light situations is definitely one of its strengths. It's a modern design, so you're not going to get much character out of this lens, and the look that you'll get stopped down versus wide open is going to be the same. But that's also its strength. Being a more neutral lens, you can't really lean into it too much to help you with your expression, and so you've got to bring your own perspective, control, and especially intentionality to your picture making to say what you're trying to say. The reason why this lens has a special place in my heart is its scope. You see, you oftentimes hear that a 40 or a 50mm lens is closest to the human perspective, but that's not quite a nuanced statement. Because when you look around, while your eyes do have a fixed area of focus, what you see and what you take in, the entirety of your perception, is coupled with your consciousness. And if you're trying to capture what you're aware of, then you actually do need a range of focal lengths. For example, if you stare intently at this beautiful camera, focusing at the middle of the camera, maybe looking at the rangefinder, the grip, the wear on the edges. When you're focusing on all these details, you're narrowing your area of consciousness to a small point. And so if you wanted to capture that small point, you need something tight, like a 85 or a 135. Now keep staring at this camera, look at the lens in the middle. Look at the aperture blades. While holding your focus in the middle, without looking around, widen your consciousness and use your peripheral vision to take in the edges of your screen. Take note of what's going on the left, on the right, the top, the bottom and use your entirety of your peripheral vision to take in as much as you can. And you'll begin to realize that you're actually in control of how wide an area you want to take in. And if you're taking in the entirety of your perception, as wide and as tall as your peripheral vision goes, and if you want to capture all of that, then you'll need a far wider lens than 40 or 50 millimeters. And so that's what I love about this lens. It allows me to capture a wider field of perception and of consciousness. So when I'm on my way in life, doing something ordinary, I suddenly see something that I want to hold on to, that I want to make a picture of. But sometimes instead of narrowing my focus to a point, my consciousness, through my peripheral vision, becomes aware of everything that's going on around it. And in that very moment, I want to record all those things as well. And so this 21mm lens has allowed me to do that. So if you're looking for a 21mm head-mount lens, the Voigtlander Ultron is inexpensive, it's technically capable, and it does really well in low light as well. It's moderately sized, and if that sounds appealing to you and you're looking for a 21mm perspective, I think this lens might be a great fit for you. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed that, subscribe, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.